This is actually a neat little video review. I was contacted over on Twitter by Christopher Quinn, aka MBB at MBBREVIEWS, over on Twitter. He has been designing and 3D printing some figure stands, and he asked if he could send me a set, and I said sure, I'll check them out. And they're really kind of nice because Hasbro has been doing with a lot of their recent lines, putting like flight stand or figure stand peg holes on their characters, and he's made a couple of really nice base plates here. Again, 3D printed and then with little hex screws. You may have to tighten them when you first get them. I had to tighten mine a little bit, but you don't want to over tighten them because it is 3D printed and you don't want to crack it. But they're very sturdy, and he's got some nice little Autobot and Decepticon logo base plates. They've got the articulation. There's a joint here, and they can rotate as well where they're pegged in. A joint here, and then a joint here as well, along with the standard size peg adapter on the end of it. And since this is just an extemporaneous part that's screwed on, if there are various sizes, I don't know if he has plans to, but it's something that you could 3D print a piece to replace this or make an adapter for different size peg holes. These are sized to fit the ones that Hasbro is currently putting on their figures. And they actually hold up to quite a decent amount of weight. I wouldn't try putting, like what's the word, like a Bandai Valk on one of these things. But as you can see, if you take, like for Decepticon, Starscream's got a little peg hole under here in his robot mode. You can plug Starscream into it, and it supports him and holds him up in both robot and vehicle mode. So any of the characters will do well. I will say, when you do this, these ancillary or these lower joints, you can move. Oh, knocked them off. And again, they will, depending on how you twist them, they can unscrew that screw, which is kind of what happened there. I bent it the wrong way. But you can move these kind of freely when you have something attached. I will say, get the basic pose you want out of the stand here, but definitely make sure you have this piece at the right angle for where you want it to go, because once you have a figure on here, you either want to grab it right here, and some figures won't have the clearance to allow for that, but you want to adjust this piece at the hinge itself, because you don't want to risk snapping the peg off by grabbing the figure and moving the whole thing around, unless you've got this screw very loose, at which point it's probably not going to support your figure. So just a word of advice. But you can see, you can just plug Starscream right onto there, and now he is hovering above the other characters on your display. And in the case of the Autobots, we'll pretend like Sideswipe's got his jetpack on. He's got his little peg hole right back here on the back of his waist. And again, you want to make sure that this piece at least is facing the right direction you want before you plug it in, because again, you don't want to be grabbing him at this and risk snapping it here at the base. We can just peg him on, and now Sideswipe's using his jetpack to meet Starscream head on in the air. So yeah, I'm not sure which figures I'm going to use these on. Like Starscream's probably going to be used on that. I think that's a cool display piece for him. The Autobot one may go to support the giant Jetfire gun for the Studio Series Prime at work, because he does have a peg hole underneath that when you have the whole gun mode assembled. So he can hold it in a more dynamic pose and just kind of braced against his leg. But there's a lot of different ways and figures you can do it on. I know I've seen him print some other designs on the bases, and he was talking the other day about possibly opening an Etsy store, which I will share on Twitter and add to the video description if that gets up and running when these are available. But very nice pieces, very neatly done, and they should be available for people to buy soonish. So thank you very much, Christopher. These I'm really happy with. I know I tend to speak in a monotone at night, and I don't always let the excitement get into my voice, but I really am happy with these. These are nice little display poses. I've been looking for, ever since I've known that Hasbro's been putting these peg holes on a lot of these characters. Like, I'm just like, I don't know if I used to have some old Kamen Rider stands, Tamashi stages, and I don't know where they're all at, and so I have not had a way really of elevating some of the figures that I feel should be in flight poses or up above like the general level of a display piece, and these are going to come in handy. Like I said, Starscream's probably going to be on this flight stand now, although I'll probably put him in a more dynamic flying through the air type of basic pose, so it looks like he's at least floating, because right there it just kind of looks like he's standing in the air, but we'll get his legs positioned in a way that make him look more like he's actually up in the air. But yeah, very cool. And again, thanks to Christopher Quinn, aka at MBBREVIEWS on Twitter. And like I said, I hope that he gets the store up and running, and I hope these take off for him, because I think they're fun additions, accessories to what I've got on my shelf. And like I said, Autobot 1 I'm going to have to find a place for, but Starscream is probably going to be his place, unless I find something cooler to put on it.